Thank you everyone for attending today. I'm here today to officially announce my retirement at the end of the 2021 season. Whilst it's not ideal with the injury, the time for me is right. I've had a wonderful career spanning 16 seasons. I started as a skinny young kid and finished an old man with a couple of kids and bruised and battered, but my rugby league journey has been a wonderful ride. The people that I've met along the way, all over the game, from players, coaches, fans. There's some pretty awesome people that I've met along the way. I suppose I need to thank a few people. Obviously my support staff, my initial support staff, Mum, Amy, my older sister, Scotty, Josh. Mum, you gave up a lot of things for us boys to chase our dreams. We started playing rugby league as 4 years old. It was a long apprenticeship before we played NRL, but it was only option A. Rugby league was always option A. There was no other option, and you always gave us everything we could to chase that dream. To our older sister, Amy, surrounded by boys. Copped the rough end of it. So much footy in the house with Scotty, but you're always there for us, a shoulder to cry on when Scotty was too rough with us. And you've been one of our biggest supporters throughout our career. From day dot, you've been there supporting us, and the text messages that you send before every game, they're always very special, and they hold very high significance for me. Scotty probably don't get enough recognition as the man who made me and Josh. All the backyard games of footy, they used to absolutely dish us. As young kids, we used to go out there every afternoon, and all we wanted to do was play football, and you were always there to help us, and some of those skills that we learnt in the backyard are skills that transferred to the paddock. I think the try scoring ability is probably running in fear from you, dodging the rose bushes out the back. I want to thank you for that, mate. Josh, you've been there the whole way, mate. Since we were 4 years old, all we ever wanted to do was play NRL, and to have a brother and best mate go about that journey together, it's been a wonderful thing, and so many great memories. I wish we could have spent a lot more time on the park together. It wasn't to be, but the times that we spent on the park together I've truly cherished. To my next support staff, my wife and my 3 kids, you guys you're amazing. Kate, you're always there. Win, lose, draw. The highs and the lows, you've ridden it with me for a long time now, and you've made me a better person, a better father, a better player. Without you, I don't think I could have achieved half the stuff that I've achieved over my career. So I want to thank you, and to my kiddies, love you so much. Amy, you've grown up around football sheds, and if there's a number one fan, you're definitely it. You've loved every bit of Daddy's journey, and Ellie and Jimmy, you've always enjoyed going to the football, and whilst you won't see Daddy out there anymore, there's still plenty of great memories to be had around rugby league. To all the clubs that I've played at, obviously I had 9 years there at the Dragons, I had 4 at the Bulldogs, and 3 here at the Roosters. I want to thank everyone who played a part in that journey. Coaching staff, support staff, strappers, trainers, physios, everyone involved, whether it be, it's just for one game or, 100 or so. I don't take, meeting you lightly. I've really enjoyed meeting as I said, the different personalities and the different people that have been involved in my rugby league journey. I've had, as I said, some wonderful memories. I've made some great friendships that I know will last a lifetime. Playing rugby league in a team sport, that's what it gives you. Plenty of memories, plenty of great times, and meeting plenty of good people. To the Roosters boys here, I finished my career with you guys. There's some very special people in this room. when I came over to the club, I still had a point to prove. I wanted to go out playing some really good footy, and I think over the last 3 years I've probably played some of the best football of my career. And it's easy to do when you've got a bunch of players like this I see right in front of me. You guys have such high standards. You drive people to be better players and better people, and I've thoroughly enjoyed being a part of the Roosters and the club and the culture. To the fans, I want to say a big thank you. Over the 16 seasons, as I said, I've ran into a lot of different fans from all walks of life. But the thing that stood out most for me was when I went down with the injury, the amount of support that I had come through, from all different parts of the world, all over Australia, all throughout the world, PNG, USA, England. I had messages of support from, all walks of life, and to me that was very special. That was when I knew that, rugby league was, it was my job, it was my life, and that I was able to go out and live my life and have an effect on people. That was, something that, I definitely won't take lightly. You always want to leave the game in high regard. I've gone out there every week and tried to play the best football I can. I wanted to be a player that would be remembered for hard work, dedication, and a player that, if the going got tough, he was going to be right there in the trenches next year. So, it's been a long ride, it's a long journey. The playing part has come to an end, but hopefully my journey in rugby league is not finished yet. I want to thank everyone for coming today, and
Obviously, you said that now was the right time. How did you come to that decision? Did you notice the process?
Well, for me personally, I think it was my body. The mind telling me that I could probably keep playing. I was playing some really good footy, as I said, over the last couple of years, but the little niggles, they turn into, big niggles. They take a lot longer to get over, and I think the knee blowing out was my body's way of saying, all right, champ, you've had a good run. It's enough's enough. So, I understand that. That's part of rugby league. Injuries are part and parcel of rugby league, and it's how you bounce back from them. Obviously, you guys won't get a chance to see me bounce back on the field, but I know that I've got a rehab process ahead of me, and I'll get through that and come out the other side a better person again.
How did you tell Rugby to your boys?
I just told them this morning, to be honest. They had the week off. I didn't want to do it last week. I wanted these guys to get away from footy, but just told the guys this morning. Some guys probably knew that was the road that I was going down. It is what it is. As I said, you never want to go out in the way that I did with the injury and whatnot, but if you told me 15 years ago, you put a contract in front of me and said I was going to play 270 games, I was going to win a couple of premierships, I was going to play for my state, I was going to play for my country, but it was going to end up on a night in Newcastle without my family there, and I was going to blow out my knee, I'd still say, where do I sign? I wouldn't change a thing. I've loved every minute of my career, and as I said, it's the right time to give it away, and the next generation to take over and take that jersey and make it their own.
So what's next for you, Brett?
Hopefully a role here at the Roosters. Look, it's in discussions at the moment, but I love the club. I think I've been very vocal in the way that I speak about this club. How when I came here 3 years ago, I was in all sorts, and for the club to take me in and for me to really relish in that opportunity, and as I said, play some of the best footy I've played in a long time. It's a place that I still want to be at and continue to work at, for sure.
Is there anything in particular that you're looking to do?
I think I've made it pretty clear I'd love to go into coaching. As a player, I've felt that one of my strengths has been trying to mentor some of the younger guys. Been doing that for a long time now, and trying to get the knowledge that I have within the game, trying to pass that on. As a player, you always have to keep learning. You always have to keep adapting. I think once you think that you know it all, that's when you're in a lot of trouble. So for me personally, it was always about trying to learn, and the information that I've learned over those years is I've always tried to pass that on and tried to help the people around to become better players as well. So for me, naturally, I think that's the progression that I want to go in. And whilst you don't get to have the same effect on the field, you can still have an impact on players.
Did you make the decision sort of straight away when you went down into it, or did it take you a few days or a few weeks to?
Yeah, look, it was pretty quick, to be honest. If you saw me when I was getting carried off, you could see I was getting quite emotional. I kind of knew right there and then that was probably going to be the last time I stepped foot on a field as a player. And all those sort of thoughts of running out with the boys week in, week out, and celebrating the wins and scoring the tries and saving the tries. I knew that I was that wasn't probably going to happen again. So that's what I was thinking at the time. Like, then sat back and reassessed, but never in my mind did I sort of come to the point that I was going to go around again.
Frank, can you just describe the past few weeks, what you've been going through and what you've been doing those weeks as well?
Yeah, obviously with the injury, had a few days off there to recover, but I get bored sitting at home, so I was back into training pretty quick. Robbo's, sort of asked me to help out where I can, just helping some of the younger guys and the edges and whatnot. So I've just been, in around training still, trying to help out where I can and keeping busy, and it's been really good. I haven't had the surgery as of yet. I've still got another 2 weeks to wait till I have the surgery. So whilst I've been waiting for that, it's just trying to stay busy and help out where I can.
You've had such a long career. What is it that you're going to miss the most?
I think the competing. I've done it since a young age. That competitive edge, I always wanted to win. I hated losing, and it's an itch that you need to scratch. And playing footy, that's what I always got. Every day I turned up to training, there was a contest, and there was a contest that I would always try and win. Whether it was a fitness drill or a game, or I was always trying to come out on top. So for me, I think that's it. And then obviously being around the boys in the sheds, some of the funniest times are sitting around in the sheds and just talking absolute rubbish. But they're the times that you remember, the good times around the boys, because you spend so much time on the field. It's such hard work, and it's the times where you're away from footy where you just get to spend quality time with each other. And I think I'm going to miss that the most, the mateship there with the players and being around the boys day in, day out, for sure.
Is there anything you're looking forward to doing that you haven't been able to do because you've been tied up with football?
I haven't thought that far ahead. I've never been skiing, so I might try that. Snowboarding or something like that. But no, I haven't thought that far ahead, to be honest. I'm a very family-orientated man. I love my family, I love my kids. I love spending time with them. So, this obviously opens an opportunity to spend more time with them. I mean, I'm not waking up on the weekends sore and laying around in bed for a couple of days after a game now. It's up and about with the kiddies, and that's my focus there.
Obviously, it's a very emotional time for you. I guess how did breaking this to you, and I guess what was the message to give?
Yeah, we spoke maybe about 10 days ago. We've obviously had the contract last year. We weren't sure whether last year was going to be the last year of the contract, and then we decided on another year and was really keen on that. But there was a bit of thought around that, and then I think, like all of us, we sat in that shed afterwards, which we saw the vision from the shed, and nobody needed to say anything. We knew what was most likely going to happen from the walk around the field, the sitting in the shed, and then the reaction of the players. So, and that's been quite it's when it's right, it becomes quite simple, and Brett's made it that way. It's quite it's the right decision, it's the right timing, but it's also, as we talked before as a group, it's a celebration of Brett as well. So.
How big of a loss is he to the team?
Yeah, it's a loss to our game. It's one of the best wingers that's ever played a game of rugby league, and you know, it's a loss in a way on the field. But we had some of the players talk about the value that, I mean, sitting up here and watching him talk about his retirement, you can see who he is and the value that he's added off the field as well, and the way that he can deliver it as a man and carry himself. That's still getting passed on to these guys. So we can't replace what Brett's done on the field over 270 games and 16 seasons, but it was a blessing to have him play at this club for 3 years and to see the way that he played, and he can continue to pass that on.
Are you excited to see his move to transition into coaching?
Yeah, he's such a thoughtful guy that he's moved into it quite quickly. He's been at ease at going in, and he's studied oppositions for a long time. That's why the nous that he plays with has been a big part of his game. So a lot of guys play our game, which is fine. They play with their traits, and I'm going to bring my traits to the game, and I'm going to leave it at that. Whereas the thing that made Brett a legend of our game was he knew his strengths and he applied them to the game, but he also knew what oppositions were and what he needed to do, and he applied that on top of his strengths, and that's where that getting to the height of our game came from. So that understanding of the game has flowed into passing that on to these guys pretty quickly over the last 3 games.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.